a new document here, and you can just call it your name and like practice pattern. And let's make it, we're gonna make it a square. So inches, let's say we'll make a 1 by 1 inch. 1 by 1 inch square. And for now we're just gonna have one artboard and create. On the size, you're gonna choose one, like change this to 1 and 1. Okay. So this is pretty small. What we're doing right now is we're gonna be creating the tile that is gonna then be repeated to make the pattern. So 1 inch by 1 inch. And again, to do that, you do under the preset details and under the name, you'll change the width to 1 inch and the height to 1 inch. So if you change the width to 1 inch and the height to 1 inch, it will be a square. Okay. Yep. And in here, I'm going to show you a couple sort of cool, funky things. We're going to start with what's called an offset path. And an offset path, what it does is it actually just makes like a copy of the shape that you make, either smaller or bigger. So I want you to create a geometric shape. Remember, we can do a rectangle, a square, an ellipse, which could be a circle or an oval. You could do a polygon or a star. Doesn't matter to me what you do. I'm going to make a star because, why not? And going way back to, if you want to make any like specific adjustments to your shape, you can click and release, and that will allow you. So for star, I can change how wide apart the little sticks are. What are they called? The arms. I can change how many points. Whatever, I'm making a 10-point star. Let's get crazy. Okay. And if it doesn't fit on your artboard, you can resize it. Remember, hold shift to resize so that it doesn't get wonky. Whee! And choose a fill color that you like. It doesn't matter to me what you choose. If you want to open your swatches, I'm going to choose... Well, what the heck, I'll just choose my hot pink because I love it. Oh no, I'm going to choose orange. And I'm going to get rid of my stroke. So that means I can actually make it a little bigger. Boop. Boop. And the next thing we're going to do is create an offset path. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a star that is a tiny bit smaller than this, and it's going to go right in the middle. So to do that, with my shape selected, I'm going to go to Object, which is along our top menu. Object, scroll down to Path. Scroll down to Offset Path. Woo! We have our preview on here. So my offset right here is 0.2778 inches. Not very much space, but since I'm only working in a 1-inch box, it seems like a lot. So I'm going to make this negative so that it's smaller. And I'm going to say negative 0.1 inches. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to look. We're going to try it. Oh, too small. I'm going to try it again. This is all about experimentation. Object, path, offset path. And I'm actually going to make it even smaller than 0.1 inches. I'm going to make it 0.02 inches. See how that looks? Ooh, yeah, I like that. So, yep, you can leave it. We're going to make at least 4 layers inside. So I'm going to change this shape to be a different color. Whee! So again, I did 0.02 for this if you like the way that looks. Does anyone need help making their offset? This is starting to look like an explosion. Now I'm going to do it again. Object, path, offset path. If I want it to be the same amount, I can keep it at -2. And maybe for my next one, I want that, negative 0.02. And I'm going to change that color. Object, path. This next one I want to make a little bit even smaller, so the area in between them. So we'll say negative 0.4, how about? Ooh, that looks cool. That's okay.
I keep on doing it the same way I made that one, but it's not working.
Oh, it's because you have that. Yeah, no, it is working. It's just making the same one. So cancel. Now select this one. Yeah.
I tried doing that one too.
Okay, wait. That's going to be. Try. No, 0.0. Let's do 0.02. Yeah.
Wait, how do I make this one?
Cool. So I would just actually get rid of it. Yeah. And so do instead, you want it smaller than what it just was?
Yeah.
So what you have 4 was 2, so now if you go to this 6
Yeah. And then to switch it, I just click this.
Yep. Go back.
Okay, then.
It's not. Yeah. Oh, back one more. Yeah. So for the next one, you just want to select that one. Right.
And then I do another one too.
Yep. These are looking cool, guys.
Oh, which stone?
I'm gonna make, I want to make a couple more just because I think these look cool. Another offset path, and this one's gonna be 0.2 again. Path. Oh, that's too small. Yeah, of course. That's what I'm here for. Ooh, that looks cool. Oh, I think it's because it's too small.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. So go back to. And that's what will depend on the size of the artboard. So we go like to 0.
I cry every time I watch it.
Or 0.0. And negative.
What did you put for one of yours?
0. Yep. It was just like going in almost a whole inch. It just makes it nothing.
It's not the same thing. What if it came out like 3 months ago? Like it came out like 3 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. That's what it looks like.
I thought it was like the Rapunzel, like tangled.
Oh, yes. Cool. Yes. All right. I'll give you guys another minute to get your thing the way you want it. I don't like that yellow repeated. No. Ew. And if you really want to get wild, like I always do, I'm going into Color Guide just to get myself some variety here. This is starting to look like a quilt. If you want to have a colored background, feel free to. Although we are going to mostly be overlapping these, but just because I'm interested, because I just started doing this, I want to see what it...
Can I do more than just that many?
Yeah, you can do as many as you want. Although we're going to move on, so you can do as many as you want until we move on. Yeah. Press I. The letter I. Cool. Love it. All right, so I'm going to give you till 9:06, which is another minute to get yourself together. If you're together, then good for you. If you're not, you get a minute. And you can clear, if you like to have a clear workspace, you can get rid of all that color stuff, because now we're just going to be patterning. Hello. Thank you, dear. So we are making a pattern currently. So if you open your Illustrator, I can come, once we start playing around, I'll come help you get it set up. Just make a new document that's 1 by 1 inch. All right, it's 9:06. So what we are going to do now is open window, and we want to open pattern options. And by default, this is going to be inactive, so everything's gray. That's normal. So window pattern options. Then if you don't have your selection key, press V, and we want to select our whole kit and caboodle. And actually, you know what? I don't think I want my background now that I'm thinking about it. If you have a background, that's fine, and you may end up going back and not wanting it. So I just highlighted my whole thing, and then I'm going to go in the pattern options. I'm going to go to our menu. Click, just drag from the outside, click and drag from the outside. And then you're going to press the little 3 lines and make your pattern. Okay. Whee! So here we go. We have the beginnings of a pattern. It is repetitive, it's predictable, it's obvious. Now we're going to mess with this thing a little bit.
Window and then what?
Window and then pattern options. So this is just the most basic way to make a pattern from a shape. Did you get it, Emma?
What'd you say?
Did you get the pattern options?
Yeah, I just figured it out. The new pattern is right.
So then we can start messing around with this. Tile type, grid, or you could go brick by row, hex by column. See what you think about that. Ooh, hex by column is sort of cool. Whee! And then if you want to start overlapping them, this says 0.099. So if I go 0.5, woo! Now they're all on top of each other because they're really close together. I can see if I like it better if it's 0.7. I sort of like them all on top of each other. You do you. And when they're all on top of each other, you can start to play with the overlap. How do you want them to be overlapped? Top and bottom. Let's see, maybe I'll go. You're going to highlight your shape, your whole shape, and then click the three lines in the top right and click Make Pattern. Ew, no, too tight. Yep. Right, I'll come right over there. Mess around with your settings. See how you like it to look. If you click, I'll be right there, Emma. If you click show tile, so show tile edge is your shape originally, and then show swatch bounds. That's weird, it doesn't seem to be showing it to me. But show swatch bounds is this square right here, so that's what the swatch of your pattern is going to look like. You can see it bigger up here, but this is what the actual tile is going to be. You can make your copies all the same. Dim copies to 80. You can see it all together. So play around with that a little bit. So you just changed, yours aren't locked right here, so you changed 0.6 and now they're overlapping this way. But height, you didn't change it. So if you change that to 0.6, and you might want it even a little like wider. Oh, it's because you only have that one shape. Ooh, that's cool, Audrey. Super cool. Ooh. And once you have them, if you have yours overlapping, you may want to try to change the tile type and see if you like all of a sudden I sort of like the brick by column a lot. When you're done messing around and you think you like what you got, you can click Done. And you'll notice in your swatches, if you open your swatches, there is a new pattern in there.
I don't think it fit in the
that's just a it's hard to describe, but you don't have to worry about that. Like this is what the pattern is going to be. So we have a new, and if you do any changing, so this is my new pattern. If I go back and open the pattern options again and I change my pattern, that swatch will change as well. So it's sort of like a live editing mode. Now, we are going to play around with how this pattern works in an actual piece of artwork. So let me just stop this video because it's getting too long.